Everybody, we're back for our second session. This is our Beadle Grimm's Candela Obscura playtest for the assignment, The Express Train to Hell. We're back, and of course, we're wearing the same clothes because it's still the same session, it's still the same day. We're just excited to get through this. We're still playing. But how is everybody enjoying it so far? I need to not lose my notes. Everyone's like,
Yes, good fun.
No, it's different. It's different.
I've enjoyed it. I liked the hook at the beginning, and I will say that was like getting a cheat code for the early game. Because although our characters know nothing, the players get a huge clue as to who some of the best people are to go and talk to.
It's like seeing the whole film in the trailer.
It is like seeing the trailer.
Who does that?
But this time I wasn't disappointed because we only saw the best bits. So there was more to it. I particularly enjoyed Bert's touching one with Rose.
We all did.
Heartwarming, I think was the phrase.
Yeah, I preferred that. I prefer that to that.
What a fun character.
If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for that. Let us know in the comments below if you've got any kind of plot twist that you think that this is going towards. We're going to be playing for maybe an hour and a half and see what we can do on this. Remember to like and subscribe. Share it with your friends, your pets, your neighbours, the weird person on the street, people on the bus, the trains, the cars, the cabs. Tell your Uber driver, like and subscribe. That's all we need. Right. Where did we leave it? We was in the mess hall still, weren't we?
We was just going in the mess hall, I think.
Yeah, just Aaron Polly were just arriving.
Bert had just received a cryptid message in a stack of matches.
Ah, yes, the matchbook. So, Dr. Crawford, Bert, and Arthur, as you turn away from like the kitchen area towards the seating area, through the big open doorway, this kind of big tent flap double doorway, you see Polly and Josiah making their way in. Yeah, there's other people around as well, having like the workers trying to have a cup of tea or something, even if it's just a bit of toast before they go back on shift. What would you like to do?
I'll nod my head at Bert and Arthur and the dog if they're also paying attention, and indicate an empty table away from most other people. I guess over in the corner somewhere where we could have a private conversation.
Sure.
So to say, I put a head up there. I'm sorry, Arthur would head that way with his bowl of food.
Okay, so once everyone's assembled, Polly and I, we had a conversation with Mr. Brick. He lived up to expectations. He's a big man. Clearly, is in charge. Likes to know that he's in charge. So a little bit of compliments here and there did get us somewhere. He's given us permission to wander around the place, talk to people. We are doing so under the guise of working for Waswood and Sons. So if anyone asks, we're investigating on behalf of the company. We're here to find out what's happened with the disappearances and to put a stop to it. But we're doing it discreetly, so we're not to disturb anyone working. We're not to affect the schedule, and then we'll stay in with Mr. Brick. Now, Polly, what did you read from the situation? Do you reckon he knows more than he's letting on?
Oh, for sure. I think it was a lot of half truths going on there. I think whether he says there's one or two that have gone missing, there might be more. Whether that was just to normal staffing issues or something a little bit more dodgy, unclear at present. But he is very preoccupied with being on time for this job and hitting their bonus. And if he's preoccupied with it, that's probably filtering down the chain, I'm reckoning, which is why people are still putting up with this shit.
Yeah, he would only fess up to one or two going missing. So basically, this Christopher kid and maybe one other. But if there's more, he was being liberal, but not being very liberal with the truth about it. Let's just put it that way. So, who did you speak to while you've been in here?
We spoke to a cook and a young child. We found Rose, and Bert, I think, handled the situation immensely. We found out that that Christopher was dragged through the wall, the crack in the wall, and disappeared. There's a phantom-like arm that extended through and just grabbed the poor boy, and it seemed to have had some kind of ability to mimic. Sort of, Crawford, if you got anything else from that conversation?
Yes, it was singing as well. Remember, he says he's like stuffing food into his mouth.
Yes,
The
yes,
food is remarkably good.
Oh, then please.
As-
Bert, you take over.
As Arthur mentions about the tunnel and the arm, I'd like to try and see if I can remember anything, like from my readings of the occult, basically using my focus to try and see if I can remember things that like see through, that can mimic, and see if I've read about that and what that might have been.
Is that a roll? Is that a skill check?
Yeah, so I use my
Go for it.
focus, and I'm gonna use 2 drive because
Okay.
Bert would really like to know about this. Cool. I'm not taking my gilded dice, but that is a success.
Okay.
1-6.
I'm going to say it sounds a lot. First of all, we talked about translucent skin. So whatever this is partially see-through. So there could be all manner kinds of different types of spirits involved. Also mentions mimicking voices. Now that's passed throughout history of different things: will-o'-wisps, druids, mermaids. Something that can ensnare you with their voice, captivate you. Even again, disembodied spirits found a way to get verbal messages across. I'm just thinking. I'm sure it was Exorcist. Get out, or Amityville Horror. Get out. That freaked me. Whoa, got goosebumps. That freaked me. So that kind of thing. So there's 101 different kind of variations. I think you need to dig a little bit deeper.
I'm really not sure what it was, but Rose mentioned about the crack was between here and the dig site, and he'll lean in and take out the matchbook from his pocket and just show people what is written on it. Maybe the red line will be of interest to us.
Okay. So maybe that's further down the tunnel then, maybe. Sounds like it's worth going to look for the crack.
Oh, it's the one that was boarded up on the way in.
Exactly. Yeah.
To where we are now. That's a good lead. Thank you for sharing that. I did point out as well that fellow in the corner over there. If you look around this hall, everyone seems to be gathered together and intertwining, but they seem by themselves and not too bothered about what's going on. I don't know if that's a potential lead, but it's something to just consider, maybe.
Well, go and have a word.
I won't lie. Human conversation isn't my strong. I can definitely inquire to my great ability, but I'm not one word.
Do you need your handhold, Arthur?
I'm quite.
More of a man of action, Arthur, I believe, is your position.
I'm not extroverted as I may be within this group. Yes.
Yes.
Well, again, maybe the avenue is we split. Somebody goes down the tunnel, takes a look at the crack, tries to figure out where it goes, for example. That might be more up your street, Arthur. As an explorer, I guess you're used to drawing maps and figuring out where you are and which direction is what and whatnot.
I feel far more comfortable going towards a crack, going down the tunnel. Yes.
And then I suppose it might fall to the
Investigate.
rest of us to figure out how we can get in the red line if that is the abandoned tunnel, because it was boarded off, weren't it? And
Mm.
what was stenciled across the front? No admittance.
No
No
admittance.
admittance.
Yeah. Looking at this fellow who's sitting alone, can I do a read to interpret his body language, please?
Sure, go ahead. Good idea.
That is a success.
Okay.
Okay. I was going to give you a drive, but I won't then if it's a success.
You can still do it. It's fine. Okay,
Damn.
so while everyone's talking, you're kind of keeping one eye on him. You're sitting there, making sure that you're watching whatever he's doing. You realise that he's got his cup, and he never manages to put the cup back down on the table. He's always holding it. He's always taking sips. He's looking around, and when he's looking around, he does it behind the cup. He's watching you. He's watching the room. He's watching the cook. He's watching the kid. He's watching the door. He is in that corner where he can see everything, and he's just constantly sipping. Never actually makes it back to the table, or just sips again. And then the bit that clarifies it for you is at one point he holds a cup in his left hand. With his right hand, he reaches down, and he's got a bottle of whiskey. He pours it in. He's doing this, and he just goes back to his cup. Drinking, watching.
Okay. Are there like cups readily available on the tables around?
Not on. So if you can go to where the cook is. All the plates and food is out. So there's always kettles of tea going on. So you can get cups and all kinds of things over there. You can get a couple of spoons and milk and some sugar.
Cool. I think I'll dash over and grab a cup, and I'll sort of make my way just past his table, and go, care to share?
He's just sitting there watching. Go away.
Tough day, was it?
It's always tough.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And
Sits there taking more drink.
it's better if you let it sit for a little bit, let it breathe.
No. I just want to forget.
Can I sit with you for a minute?
If you want to.
I'll take a seat. My name's Polly. What's yours?
My name's Chapel.
Chapel. Oh, I've heard your name round here. He's working security, right?
Yeah, I was. I am.
Oh.
I am.
All right.
I'm supposed to be.
Extended break?
Yeah.
Is it just you then, working security?
Yeah.
That must be
Just-
tough.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of souls to keep an eye on, innit?
And you see, when you mention souls, he's kind of rocking backwards and forwards. No. No souls. No souls.
Can I do another read to see if I can... I think I've got an idea for me. I think Polly has an idea for me. But can I see if I can kind of get a sense of if he's seen more than he should have seen?
Go for it.
Can I give you a drive by making a distraction? I'll bang something on the table loudly and see how sort of nervous he is, and aid Polly in that way.
That is a mixed success.
Okay, so with the distraction, you bang the table, bang, and immediately as it, it's like someone dropping a glass in the pub. Everyone's, "Whoa." Everyone looks over, and he immediately he goes into the corner, like shoves his chair further into the corner of this tent, as if that offers him any protection at all. And Polly, you see his eyes are wide open, but they are bloodshot. He has not slept, and he is drunk.
Oh dear. Oh, okay. I think Polly's going to push it a little bit. Was she there with the kid? Someone else?
I'm not going to talk about it. Can't talk about it.
Can't, or you can't?
If you talk about it, it makes it real. Don't talk about it.
If you don't talk about it, it makes it worse. I should know, mate. I've kind of been where you are. It's scary, isn't it? Seeing something you can't quite put your finger on.
I saw it. I looked at it, and he looked right back at me. No, I'm not talking about it.
All right. If you feel you need to, though, you just ask for Polly, all right?
What can you do?
I think I'm then going to get out my magic show gimmick, which is a little kind of crystal ball. And I'm going to, like David Bowie in Labyrinth, where he kind of like does that.
Starts to try to hypnotize.
Yeah, I think she's going to kind of
Evelyn.
use the crystal ball bit and then kind of wrap her hands around it. And it makes this like tiny little, almost like constellation starburst.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when the darkness gets to you, it can be hard to find the light. But the light is there if you look hard enough for it. And that down there, which is keeping you up at night, as well as what was over in there, ain't going to be helping you, love.
The drink, and he brings up the bottle, puts it on the table. You can see most of it's gone. This is just to take away the pain.
Don't really. Pain's still there, mate. I was
Not for
there.
them, it's not.
No.
Not for them, it's not. They're gone. They're gone. No. No.
Get some food in you. It'll help. And I'll I won't make like any kind of move to like go near him or anything, but I'll just kind of put a hand on the table as a sort of reassuring affirmation and a nod, and I'll go back to my circle.
Okay.
Well, I just met Chapel.
Wonderful.
Oh, he's seen some. I think he's been a witness to quite a lot of stuff, and I reckon we should probably keep an eye on it, because he said he looked into this thing and it looked back. And I mean, if history's taught us anything, if folklore's taught us anything, that's usually a bit of a marked status in it.
Yes.
So more than an arm.
Mm.
He's a scarred man.
Yeah.
What a lot we can do for it.
He's, when you've been through it and you're at that point where it's just like the worst it can be and nothing's gonna get you out of it. He's there.
Poor fellow. Poor fellow.
Did you try a soft approach, Polly, or a hard approach?
Oh, I did soft.
Do we want to try the hard approach?
He sounds like a semi-broken man we don't want to possibly.
I think he's more than semi-broken.
Yeah.
I think we need to, if we can get him to once he's finished that bottle, hopefully he can sober up a bit, and we might get a bit more out of him.
Why don't we head down, take a look at the crack, take a look at the dig face, and work out how we're going to find out where the red line is, or get into the other tunnel. Is there a connecting tunnel between the two? Maybe. Is there another way in? If not, then we might have to sneak in, which might call upon my specialties.
When you were in Brick's tent, you didn't happen to notice any maps or anything lying around of the tunnel system?
There was a lot of papers. I mean, like, definitely needs a secretary.
Yeah, there was a lot of papers. But I mean, how complicated is a map of a tunnel going to be?
I'm sure we can work our way around.
Let's
Tunnels aren't all in straight directions. Like some they go off in different directions.
Look, we'll head down. We'll head down there. Follow me, and I'm sure we can work it out together.
We shall rely upon your very special abilities, Arthur.
It's underground rail systems would be a first, but I'm sure it's no different to caverns and all sorts.
Yeah, it's just a well-worked cave, shall we say.
I like that description. Yes.
Find the animals, Arthur. Find the animals.
I don't know what that means, but let's go.
So, we crack hunting.
We are crack hunting.
We are crack.
I'm not sure. I don't
My
believe
favourite
that
pastime.
wording. I haven't been crack hunting in a long time.
Down the horn. So yeah, I guess after we stand up, and I guess we're just gonna make our way. I assume we can see the direction of where we're gonna go, and we just start to head towards the was it a dig site?
Yeah.
Before we leave the tent, when Arthur will again hold back, and he will look at Chapel in the corner, and he will try and get a read on whether or not he is marked by anything, if he can get a sense of that.
Yep, go for it.
And I'll drive one this time. That is a failure, but I will take my gilded die because it got a 1 anyway, so it's fine.
Okay, so you see him. He's still there. He's just again rocking backwards and forwards, and he just pours the last of the whiskey into his cup, just bashes it down. As he puts it on the table, it just falls flat. He just sits there, back and forth. You can see him every now and then. He's like shaking his head.
It's not for everyone, but I hope he's well. And Bert will follow Arthur and the rest of the group.
Okay. So you're going further down. You're leaving the crew town, the camp, and moving further down the tunnel towards basically the drilling site, the dig site. Let's try and get the terminology right. Okay, so this thing is even darker, if you can imagine that. The lights are even more spread out. The lights are dim here. Some are broken. So you have these kind of big swathes of darkness.
Are there any in the construction camp? Are there sort of the helmets with lights on or anything?
Yeah, if you want to kind of pick some stuff up, yeah. Every now and then you find there are kind of metal cabinets stocked with stuff, but every now and then you can see, like, as I mentioned, those cots which are out against the wall, like sleeping cots. Every now and then there's a cot with the helmet, a flashlight, a set of boots, that kind of thing, where stuff's been left behind or that person's now left or gone.
Right, I will take one of the helmets and lights, so we have a torch.
Yep. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think it's probably it's probably a good idea for more than one person to have a torch of some description, right? So I'll pick one up as well. If we
Yeah. And remember, it's also a hard hat, miner's helmet kind of thing. Underground workers. Okay, so Josiah and Dr. Crawford. So, after about 200 feet in, or further down from the campsite, you can hear it first before you see it, but you can hear someone shoveling down the tunnel. And as you get closer, you can see that there appears to be a young lady, potentially a teenager in terms of age, and she's busy kind of shoveling the dirt from one area and put it into another bit. Just shoveling some dirt and then putting it somewhere else.
But is she wearing the same sort of clothes as the other workers?
It's a bit of a mismatch. She's tried to kind of put a fashion on it, so some of the bits are rolled up a little bit more. There's a belt around her waist because it's obviously going to be too wide, it's adult size, and she's not quite there yet. So she's got a belt wrapped around her waist to tie it in. She's tucking the overall in her legs. They're kind of rolled up, but also one's out over the boot, one's tucked into the boot.
I'll walk up. Sorry, go on.
No, you could.
I'll walk up and say, "Hey, girl, you're a bit young to be working, ain't you?"
And she kind of stands up, tries to get a bit taller. No, I'm okay. I'm old enough to work here. I'm 16 now. That's about right.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. You look younger than you are. Then I'll take that as a compliment. I didn't mean anything,
Okay.
right? What's your name? My name's Josiah Crown.
My name's Mary. I'm Mary Nutkins. Are you company people then, I take it?
Yeah, that's right. We're here on behalf of Waswood and Sons. We're looking into the disappearances.
Okay.
If you
Disappearances.
yeah, young Christopher who went missing.
I know Christopher, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
him.
Christopher well, or you know of him?
Well, all us kids kind of stick together, you know. Even the young ones, but he's a good kid. He worked kind of hard.
When you say works, what do you mean?
Well, polishing boots and looking after the men.
Right, I see.
The kids of the families, we all dig in together. We all
All part of the
help.
community.
Exactly, yeah. We're all one big happy family. The Waswood family. There you go.
Yeah, I understand. So, nothing untoward, you'd say, goes on around here. Everybody's pretty solid. No strange characters you see around that might want to do any harm.
No, well, I wouldn't say you lot are strange. I mean, the way that you're dressed, you don't seem like company people. But I don't think you were here to do any harm.
Well, we ain't miners, no. I'll give you that. But like I say, we are here to help. We're trying to find out what went on. We spoke to Christopher's sister. She
Rose.
told us that an arm stretched out the side of the tunnel and dragged Christopher in some crack that's supposed to be in the wall in this section of the tunnel between a construction camp and a dig face. You wouldn't have happened to have come across that, would you?
No.
Does that sound like the sort of story that might be true? Or is it, as Mr. Brick says, the fabrication of a small child for attention?
I don't know. I just do what Mr. Brick tells me. He tells me, like, I'm just shoveling this dirt.
Why are you shoveling the dirt?
Well, he's told me to cover up these puddles, so I get the dirt, and dry out the puddles. They come down from the ceiling. See, we're a tunnel. There's got to be water above somewhere. It all comes down into the ground from rain and everything else. So every now and then there's a puddle. I cover it up.
Yeah, but I'll look down at what she's shoveling. Does it look like pot water? Is it like a puddle?
It's kind of dirty. It's kind of like a grey water, but it looks like a puddle.
As a player, can I ask a player question?
Yeah.
When you, because I wrote this down, right? When Bert and Arthur and Dr. Crawford were talking to Rose, the description that I wrote down was, just load up the note. It said Chris was taken by a grey dripping arm. Does that trigger anything with the other three? That description you just made. You said it's a grey, wet substance on the floor.
Bert is going to grab Dr. Gainsborough by the head because he's wearing one of these helmets with a light on. Thank you, Doctor, and he'll pull his head towards the water so he can get a closer look at it. He'll like, he wouldn't pull him if he resisted, but he will. But like, come on, look, he's an old man trying to pull someone down. Here you go. Let's have a look.
I'll have a search using my survey, if possible, or to have a look at the water in more detail. Then, as my head's been grabbed and thrown towards it.
Yep. So explain what is it exactly you want to do.
I'll check whether it is actually water. I want to.
How do you want to do it? Put your finger in it, taste it.
Let's.
If you don't burn it, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, let me put. I'm just gonna put my finger in it and sort of like do like this, see if it is water. I'm not gonna eat it, like ingest it, but I'm gonna
the viscosity test.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's work
Because
this one.
my specialty, I've got a thing where if I make a focus roll to detect a piece of organic matter, and then depending on what happens to it, I might be able to negate it. Got like an anti-bleed thing. So.
Can I give you a help with a drive for that as well?
Yeah, so that's.
I'm also going to give you a drive from I don't mind.
So what I'll do is I'll pull out like some excavation tools and try and dig some of the dirt away and kind of free up the area to like dip your finger into this liquid and this gooey substance.
Okay, so Arthur's clearing out some of the rubble that Mary's been putting onto it, and you find more liquid, more puddle is there. And then, what are you doing, Dr. Crawford?
So I got 5. So my plan, as I say, is to literally dip my fingers into it and then play between my fingers to see if I can tell that it is actually water. Maybe give it a sniff. I'm not ingesting it though because we're literally under the ground. Don't think you'd like.
Just drink it. Why don't you just take a sip of it? It'll be fine. Worse that'll happen.
It's tunnel
Do you want me
spring.
to start explaining different parasites and whatnot that you could get from?
Yes,
down
Doctor.
here?
I would love for you to explain all of that to me right now.
Well, there starts listing off all of these different waterborne.
Okay, so you dip your fingers into the puddle, and you put them into your mouth or on your tongue, like that.
No, I'm not. I said I'm not ingesting it.
He's made it very clear. He's not.
I'm not ingesting it.
So many times.
He's just a douche.
Have a look. You can tell if it's water by just seeing it. feeding it, right?
Okay. So you put your fingers into it, and then you bring them up, and your fingers are obviously wet. Now, when you turn, so if I just do it, when you turn your hand like that and you're looking at it, you've got the spotlight there, and you can see this liquid. The liquid is not running down your fingers. It's running upwards.
That's strange.
Very peculiar. Very, very interesting. I might take out my first gear item and put my bleed containment vial and see if I can put some of the water in a vial just for later
Okay.
inspection as well.
You're just gonna dish it out the puddle.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
and then like maybe pull a hanky out of my pocket and try and wipe it off. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not water. And that's my scientific analysis.
So it sounds like
This ball really, really did well for you, didn't it?
You did a great job.
Mr. Brick might know more than he's letting on then.
Just because when kind of like digging around to get the water, it's in the puddle of water, it's still that's not kind of running in a weird direction either, is it?
No, it's just sitting there as a puddle.
That's just it's only going up since you touched it. Okay.
The fact that it's moving upwards, do we think that there might be? I mean, we didn't ask whereabouts the crack was. It could be coming out of the ceiling, or we know.
She said it was coming out a ceiling.
She did say it was in the ceiling.
Yeah. So Mary, have you seen this crack that Rose was telling us about? You know, do you move up and down this tunnel a lot between the construction site and the dig face?
Oh, I haven't gone out my way to find it. But it should be around here somewhere.
Is this where you fill in the most puddles in this area?
Actually, yeah, I do.
And has Mr. Brick ever mentioned a red line to you at all?
Not specifically, but I've heard mention of it.
What might you have heard mention of? You don't mind me asking.
Well, not to get me into any trouble,
Of course not.
but I may have overheard a conversation between Chris and Rose's dad and Mr. Brick, where Mr. Brick repeatedly referred to the red line. That's the one that came before this one, and called it a mistake that can't be undone.
When you say it came before this one, you talking about the other tunnel next door by any chance?
Yeah. We started building this one a few months back after that one closed down.
And you have no idea why it closed down?
Well, the tunnel collapsed and some people were killed. So
That's
it closed
unfortunate.
down and we started a new one. That was before I joined here, though.
Right. You've been very helpful, Mary.
Mary, if I might interrupt, as I'll kind of stands up, Chris and Rose used to fetch water for the workers. Yes.
Yes,
Do you know where they got the water from?
from the mess hall.
So they bring it from the mess hall and bring it down to the dig site.
Yes.
And do you know where they get the water from in the mess hall? Does that come up from above ground, or is that also sourced down here?
Yeah, there are various pipes that they can get them from. And it's all brought down.
Okay, interesting.
They do it every day. They refill the big stock in the mess hall, and then we take out some buckets. We bring the buckets down. I did it as well. I've done it before. Different dig sites, not here. Different jobs. But if you want to know stuff about that, the water and the pipes, you can go and speak to Edith. Edith Creevy. She's the auxiliary manager, if you like.
So would she be number 2 to Mr. Brickman?
Yeah, exactly. My dad says that she knows everything about everything, but he doesn't mean that as a compliment.
And a reference, who's your father? Is he another miner? Does he have a certain role in this? In
Yeah, my dad, Mr. Nupkins.
Dad Nutkins.
Dad
Dad
Nupkins.
Nupkins. Yeah, there's quite a few of them named down here.
Once again, I was 43. I would just point that out. I was 43 when I found out my father's name. So yeah, I don't think this is unusual.
Still a cool man, sir. And where is Edith located? Does she tend to hang out in a certain place?
No, she's down at the dig site. She's front line.
Good to know. Sorry, buddy.
No, I was going to ask exactly the same question.
If we was looking to get something arranged then, and we didn't want Mr. Brick necessarily knowing about it, would Edith be the right person to speak to?
Oh yes.
She got the authority, has she?
Yes. Mr. Brick does know a lot of stuff that's going on. I mean, how he knew these puddles were down here, I don't know. He doesn't come down this way.
But he's a smart man, isn't he?
Orders are orders. I think so, yeah.
That's a very good point, actually, Mary.
Whilst we've been standing here talking, is any more water started coming through the ceiling, or is it?
No, I'll say that if you've been no extra water has appeared, but if you've been keeping an eye on it while they've been talking, every now and then you just see like bloop, a little bubble appears.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, Mary, company policy actually states that, you should never be working alone. It's a health and safety thing. So I'd maybe get someone else here with you, my love, if you're going to be down here for a while.
Oh, I'll keep I'll keep a lookout. And no one ever gets too close to me. I know how to use my shovel.
That's a girl.
Takes a swing.
I've no worries about this girl whatsoever now. Yep.
Alright, shall we carry on then down the tunnel, try and find this crack, and then go and see Edith at the dig site?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Just before we leave, Bert is going to pull out his first gear item, which is a small ivory music box, which is a bleed detector for him. As he opens it up and sees if the tune changes basically as it's playing, if there's any impact on it, where we're stood.
It does.
And he'll move it close to the puddle and then further away, very scientific.
And it's like so as it plays its tune, it kind of misses a note. And as you put it closer to the puddle, it starts to like slow down, like it's straining. And as you take it back away, it starts to play as normal again.
And I think he would look at the others who would know what this music box is, that he uses it for this, as we've been on things before, assignments before.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gertie. And then he'll shut the music box and put it back in his satchel.
I'd get back to filling them holes in, Mary, quickly.
Pet, why don't you go get some
Okay.
water? Maybe you look a bit quenched of thirst. But not from the
that as
puddle.
well. I'll finish the puddle and then I'll go and get some water.
Be quick, but yes, that sounds good.
Okay.
On that side of the tunnel where she was digging, can we concentrate our search for the crack on that side, assuming that's
Yeah.
logically where
Do
I
you
think.
all want to have a kind of fan out and
Yeah,
do it? That might
think
be
so.
easier.
Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
we're walking there. I think we're going
Do you
to
want
be
us to
aware
all
of what we're
make survey rolls?
Go for it.
I mean, the Chaos Goblin in me was really tempted just to grab a shovel and just go.
I got a partial success 4.
Okay.
Same.
I partial success with 5. That matters.
Bert is looking in the dark, not in the light. Like that's what he's looking for, is in the darkness. He's not looking
Yeah.
in the light.
Yeah, I'm still busy looking at my hand and the goo that's all over it that I couldn't get off the hanging.
So the highest score was it doesn't come off.
Yeah, I was thinking of it like I forgot what it's called.
So-
What's that like magnetic stuff that's like black?
I was just going to go
yeah,
your
it's like-
Venom suit by the end of the session.
yeah.
That is a whole symbiote. Right, two things happened. So the highest score was Arthur. So Arthur, everyone pans out, and you use Dr. Crawford as a kind of the center position because he's still where the puddle is. Everyone else spans out in a little kind of area, and you all look around. Arthur, you do indeed find a crack in the wall. It's about maybe 4 feet in length, and quite narrow enough that you would physically not be able to fit in there.
Okay, so Arthur will kind of stop with what he's doing, and his first response wouldn't be to call out; it'd be to kind of look and investigate this crack. He's not got a hat on with a light, but he does have a hand torch with inside his survival gear. So he'll pull that out and he'll look at the crack, and he'll also bring out his excavation tools, just kind of like jab at it and just kind of see if anything happens.
Okay. So as you go up to it, we'll play this out. As you step up to it, you've got your torch and you've got the little stab tool. You're going to stab into it. You get right up close to it. And as you do, Dr. Crawford, you hear a terrifying scream. And it's coming from all around you.
Only Dr. Crawford. Or all of us hear the terrifying scream.
Dr. Crawford hears a scream.
I start like looking around. What was that? What did you?
What was what?
I heard a howl. There was sounded. Can I ascertain whether it's like a child? It sounded like a child, an adult, a person.
This sounded like a male adult screaming, terrified screaming.
It was definitely human, and I believe it was a man's wail, a scream. Did no one else seriously hear that?
I'll look at Bert, who happens to have his music box out at this very moment, and I'll give him the significant look that, without saying the words, suggests to Bert subliminally that he might want to walk towards Dr. Crawford with his music box out and do some bleed detecting around his person.
Trying to tell him something, just say, why are you looking at me like that? Oh, that's not good. And then look before, yes. And he gets his music box back out, because he did put it away, because he would, and he opens it up, and then we'll walk up to Dr. Gainsborough, the third. Doctor, just stay still for me.
You telling me you didn't hear that?
So as you're walking towards it and the music box is playing, as you get closer to Dr. Crawford, it starts to slow down, just like it did with the puddle.
Oh, great.
How attached are we to Dr. Gainsborough?
I can take him or leave.
Quite a lot.
We need one with a better degree, actually.
Dr. Gainsborough, may I see your hand, please?
Certainly, and I hold up my hand
No,
to
no, not too close. Not too close.
right under his nose.
Have you still got the water
yeah.
on your fingers?
I'd say I've got as much as I could out into the vial, but there is still some on there. I tried wiping it off with a handkerchief, but it's still on.
This doesn't look very good, Doctor, I'm afraid. And he'll bring the music box back just to try it again, just to make sure he'll move it to the hand and then to Dr. Gainsborough's face, to the biggest distance he can find. Just check. Is there any change when he does?
Again, the closer you put it towards his physical body, it slows down, and then you bring it back.
I'm good at finding these things. That's more of my specialty. Can I try and work out if there might be any way to help the doctor, the good doctor?
Go for it.
I'll lend you a drive. I'm assuming you're going to make maybe a focus roll to remember. anything.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm looking at as a focus roll.
I'll give you an intuition drive, and I'll prompt you by saying something like, "Do you remember that time back in Hollow Harbour when we come across that thing? It was a similar sort of effect."
Yes, that thing. Let me remember if I remember that thing.
I think it was called The Thing, wasn't it?
Oh, I remember the thing.
Yeah.
Cool. That is a 6 on my gilded dice.
Hey.
So that is a success. Yes, the thing. Yes, I do remember the thing. Dave, what was the thing?
So this is about transference. So you did the experiment with the puddle. It went wonky as you approached the puddle. You also saw Dr. Crawford. I keep calling him Dr. Crawford, Dr. Gainsborough, but Dr. Crawford is stuck there now. He's put his hand in. It wasn't wearing a glove or anything. He's put his hand in the puddle, and this thing is defying gravity by moving upwards rather than downwards on his fingers. So whatever energy is in the puddle is now in Dr. Crawford.
And would I know of a way of how to resolve that transference?
Cut off the head.
I do have tools.
Bert does not say that out loud. I do remember. Oh no, I do remember. Yes.
Well,
let's just see how we go along. But someone keep an eye on the doctor, please. I don't have the tools on me, but I may have something, perhaps, back at the circle, in order to help. And he will look at Josiah behind. He'll go behind the doctor and look at Josiah and just go.
We just add him to the other disappearances down here anyway. It'd be fine.
What's one more? Who cares about what's one more?
first in the crack.
Doctor, I feel like you should go into any danger first.
Have the rest of us noticed Arthur poking at the wall with a chisel?
Yep.
I start while I'm doing it. I'm like pretty much sensual's gone around me. I just kind of start saying, "One in a rush, two in a rush," and just kind of doing what I can to crack. Make sure it's the right crack. One on the ground. Who loves cracks?
Nothing else happens. You're shining your torch in. It goes further than the light allows you to see.
Okay. And I will turn around and go, I have something that's a crack and could be the crack, but it's not looking like the kind of crack that I'd expect a crack of which is full of animal activity to be. It's a crack.
Step away for a moment, if you will, Arthur, and let me ponder things for a moment.
Yes, of course. Yes.
So I'll step up and I'll look inside the crack and focus the torch beam to as narrow as possible and have a good look round. I'd like to spend a few moments just observing the crack and the area around it. I'm then going to spend an intuition point and use my specialty skill called Scout. And what this allows me to do is, if you have time to observe a location, you can spend 1 intuition to ask a question. What do I notice that others do not see? What in this place might be of use to us, or what path should we follow? So what I'm trying to ascertain is where does this crack go, and could it, for example, possibly lead to the other tunnel?
So you play it backwards in your head. You remember that both tunnels were next to each other.
Yes.
As you walk past the tunnel that was boarded up with wooden planks, that just heads in a straight line, just like this one does. So
Yes.
this line, the one that they're working in now, is parallel to the other line. So assuming the original line went as deep as this line, then yes, potentially, if you were to make a new hole and go all the way through to burrow through, you would calculate that you would appear in the original tunnel.
So it's in the right wall, it's in the right direction.
Yes.
Okay. Can I see, by playing around with a torch and just observing, can I see how far I think it might go? Because you said it was 4 foot high, but not quite wide enough for us to fit in, or certainly not half for anyway.
No, it's about half a foot wide.
Okay.
So all of you being adults are going to be physically too broad to be able to get, even to squeeze in. It's not possible. However, a child probably could.
Right. So it could go on for some way. Then there's
Yes.
if I lay down on the floor and shine it in at the widest part, it goes further than the torch will shine.
This is not a straight line.
Okay.
This is a jagged crack, like a fissure has broken. A crack in the wall.
Right. Okay.
Not a tunnel or something like a straight tunnel.
Okay.
That goes all the way through.
Can I see anything at all, like maybe a bit of torn clothing? You know, if the child's been pulled through by something, is there possibly a bit of torn clothing or something on one of the sharp edges of rock?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Right, I'll just relay that to the others, that this in theory could lead to the other tunnel. It's in the right direction. I have no idea how long it is, because it changes direction too many times internally, and I can't see any evidence of Christopher having been dragged down this. But does it match as such the description that Rose gave us of the crack? Because she said she could fit down it, couldn't she? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Bert, do you wanna see if the music box reveals anything? Is there any bleed in this area?
Don't want to wear Gertie out.
Like to take a few steps back, Dr. Crawford.
Yes, if someone could keep Dr. Crawford away from me, that would be helpful. And Bert will move up, holding out the music box as it twinkles.
As it twinkles, it's fine. Going up to the crack.
Can he fit his arm in? The music box is only small, like it fits. It's just slightly bigger than his hand.
You can put your arm in. Yeah.
Yeah, he will. He'll put his arm all the way in, up as deep as it'll go, like up to his shoulder.
Yep. You can hear the music playing fine.
Well, it's not the crack itself, but I think I'm getting an idea of what it might be. But probably keep going.
So to the dig face and to see Edith.
Mm.
Was there a surname that Mary gave
Uh,
us?
They-
Creevy.
Yeah.
Prevy, right? Okay.
Okay, so you
Is
carry
Mary
on.
still about?
She's been digging, covering
Yeah.
up the puddles and stuff, and then when Dr. Crawford went a bit doolally, you can see she's packing up and she's ready to go back to camp.
Good girl.
Cool. Just double checking, making sure that she is going. That's fine.
Okay. We head to the dig site.
Mm.
Okay, so as you approach this is like the end of the tunnel or the front of the tunnel. This is a dig site. The sound of drilling, the vibrations of it is really hammering home now. And you can see there are there's quite a few people, or workers, being busy. And there is this huge machine. I was trying to find the name of it. I can't find it now. Let's see if I can find it. If you think about a channel tunnel drill, think
Yes,
of like
or-
a steampunk version of that.
Yeah.
It's called they call it a TBM, but I can't find the actual.
A tunnel boring machine.
Oh, there you go. See, that'll do. So the tunnel boring machine, you see this massive contraption, steam pipes as it going off, these giant kind of wheels, driving it forward into the wall. The workers are busy. They're covered in dirt and soot. They've all got their goggles on, and one of the tents that you see as you approach this area, this one has no writing on, but you see this woman standing there, hands on her hips, watching you approach. She's very tall, and her skin is as dirty as her overalls. She is covered in muck, and she does not care. And she shout over the noise. You hear a shout out over to you. I was wondering when they'd finally send someone. You're too late to save the people worth saving, of course. But that's always the way. Come on. Come closer.
Edith Creeley, presume?
Yep, that's me. I don't
Pleasure.
suppose you lot want to just go back up while there's still time.
Oh, no, my love, we ain't part of that business. We're I don't think it's worth trying to pull one over yours. You're clearly a woman who knows what around here. So we'll be frank with you. We need to know how many have disappeared, how recently, and then if there's anyone who's got any witnesses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because let's
Kind of
face it,
looks you up and
Oh.
down.
Brick up there, he ain't got a fucking clue, has he?
No, he's not. Right. Coming in. She holds up the tent flap, invites you all in. And she goes over to the side table. There's crates and boxes and barrels everywhere. She looks after her team. She doesn't bother going back to camp. She's front line. Something breaks, she fixes it. Someone's hungry, she feeds them. And she just kind of sticks her fingers in a whole bunch of shot glasses, brings them over to the table. You can see that the dirt from her fingers is rubbed off on the inside of the glasses as she starts pouring out some brandy for everyone. There you go. Get that inside you.
Cheers.
So, what do you want to know then?
Well, firstly, how many have actually gone missing? I think is
Gone missing? I think maybe about 10, maybe more. Now, some people, they do leave. But my friend Chapel, back at base camp, the ones who Brick has said have left. Chapel informed me they didn't take their gear with them when they left. So why would they do that? It's not normal, is it? You take your
Nah.
stuff, you earned it, you made the coin, it's yours. But they left it all behind.
So you're saying they didn't even take their wages?
They didn't take their wages, their clothes, their boots, all the stuff they brought down, their books, family photos.
Were these people working in all different parts of the dig, shall we
We
say?
all work. We all work.
And when they were missing, they were all working in different areas or a similar area to when you may have last seen them or been aware of their location.
Everyone takes a turn up at the front. This is the main job. This is it. Drilling. We've got
So they were missing
tilers,
from
we've got safe people. Yeah. The main job is this. We work all night, through the night, every night. Every day. This thing stays running. If it
You ever
stops, if it slows down, we get further and further behind.
Do you ever get people working alone, or is it always in groups?
Always in groups. Safety in numbers.
You should probably know then that Mr. Uptop is getting young girls to work on their own.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that? Mary.
Mary, yeah, we just sent her up back to the mess hall.
I keep telling that young girl about that. Rose will be next. You mark my words.
Mm.
So if people are always working in groups, then have there been any other witnesses to disappearances? Because Mr. Brick says that Rose has made all this up for attention. This thing in the wall and the crack. Now, we found the crack. We can't say we found anything strange about it, but we found it.
I don't know nothing about that.
Can I do a read on that?
Yeah.
Like, see if she's lying?
I'll give you a drive.
Thank you. That is a success.
She's not lying, but there are many different options of what people believe. The rumours going around the camp, the crack. She doesn't believe the crack is part of it.
Okay.
Can I'd like to do a read for a different thing. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm also gonna spend a drive.
I'll give you a drive as well for that one.
Thank you. That's a 6. That's a success. 1-6. Is there? So I have a ability called leverage. It says on a successful read roll, you may ask the GM what your target truly wants. So, is she wanting to tell us more, but we're not asking the right questions?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll step in once Polly has finished talking, and I'll say, look, you're auxiliary site manager. You're employed by Oswald and Sons, same as Mr. Brick is.
That's right.
Seems like Mr. Brick is very protective of this site. Probably wants to make sure that his own name don't get caught up in any bad press, so to speak. He's very focused on schedule. You,
That's right.
if you don't mind me saying, a different character. You're looking out for the welfare of workers. Schedule's good, but they're more important. You know, we want to do this job safely and make sure everybody gets through it. You seem like you want to help us. We want to find out what really happened here. We're not working for Oswald and Sons. That's a lie we told Mr. Brick. We're here as part of the Candela Obscura. We're here to really uncover the truth and find out what's happened. If possible, to save young Christopher. Now, if you really want to help us, tell us what you know.
I don't know why there are disappearances going on. But I do know, I'm sure of it, that it all started with the red line.
We've heard about the red line, but we don't know what the red line is, or more importantly, where it is.
Well, it used to be called the Hallow Harbour line back then.
Mm-hmm.
They only changed it to the red line when we had to start over.
So is it the tunnel next door that's boarded up?
Yes. There was a cave-in, and that cave-in killed a few people.
Was that cave in accidental or orchestrated? Do you know?
I don't know for sure. I've got my guesses, but Brick, he has explicitly forbid me from going back there.
So is that what the guards at the front are really there for? To stop people from going in that tunnel?
Yeah.
So how would we get in? Have we got to sneak in? Or is
Well,
there another entrance somewhere?
It's only a few inches of plywood. That's the only thing that's standing in your way. I would say that a curious sort like yourselves might want to take a look. In fact, the whole camp is still there.
How far did the dig get before it was abandoned?
Maybe halfway.
Half the length of this tunnel, you mean?
Yeah.
And it was in the same direction? Would it run parallel with this one?
It would have run exactly parallel to this one.
How far along the tunnel do we estimate the crack was?
That would be past the halfway point.
Okay.
It's jagged, right? So you could have kind of jagged up towards the halfway. I don't know how long it was.
Can I do a recheck for when Josiah mentioned Candela Obscura to see Edith's reaction to that, and if there was anything that she actually sort of let out when he mentioned
Go
that?
for it.
Partial success, 4.
No, for her, Candela Obscura, where she might kind of dismiss you as supernatural hunters. There's no relevancy to it. Her stuff is real. What you see is what you get. So she doesn't see a ghost, they're not real.
Edith, the pipes that you extract water from, the mess with. I can see that you're quite well equipped down here to supply to take care of yourself, but where does that water feed in from?
The water is brought in from the main taps, the main water lines from the top street outside.
And have we noticed that Mary was covering up some greyish liquid? Have you seen any other liquid like this while digging?
No. Well,
it's similar to the ones on Doctor's hand here.
you do get a lot of moisture down here. You get a lot. This is underground. You do get a lot of wet spaces. Yeah, it's very dank in the air. But you know, around the middle bit, for some reason, maybe just again build up of moisture in the air. It does seem to be wetter down there.
Just a quick question about the people that died, Edith. Did they die from the cave-in, or was there any leaking pipes or anything?
She kind of kind of, you see her not daydream, but she's remembering something, and she takes a few deep breaths, and she looks at you directly, Bert, and she says, "My wife died in that cave-in, and they believe it was some kind of explosive accident that caused the cave-in, and we were not allowed to go in and remove the bodies. But my wife never made it out."
And that would be unusual to not go and retrieve the bodies.
Quite possibly.
The
I'll tell you what
exposure.
I will do for you all. And Bert, let's pick on Bert. She goes over to the desk, grabs a blank piece of paper and a pen, and she spins you around and puts the paper on your back, and she starts to
Fancy,
write out a
reasonable.
note.
Not too hard. Don't press too hard. I've got brittle bones. I've got thin skin. Don't press too hard.
And let's have a look at this. Dr. Crawford, let's have boop, 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 boop. I've got to find it. Boop.
Actually, I
There you
close
go.
my eyes and don't see anything.
Dr. Crawford, if you would like to read that out, please.
Manager Creevy, at your request, here are the items from the strange corpses.
Oh no,
discovered.
that's not it, is it? Oh, have I got it? Have I not got it? Right. I don't have it. Now I read this out. Let me read this out. Right. I thought I had that screen. That's annoying. Okay, so she writes on your back, and it says, the bearer of this document has authority to access the condemned Red Line work site. Please facilitate their access at the instruction of Waswood and Sons as a matter of urgency. Sincerely, Edith Creevy, Auxiliary Manager. And she says, as she gives that to you, show that to the guards. They'll let you in.
We
So
can
shit.
we
Who'd she give
borrow
that
a
to?
crowbar?
Sorry, you had to cross over.
Who did she give the note to?
Just shoved it back to Bert, spun him around. Here you go.
What was your wife's name, if you don't mind me asking, Edith?
Right, so this is where I think I've messed up the name. So, Dickie was the cook and also the auntie.
Oh, the auntie.
Uh,
Right.
Edith Creevy is the woman you're talking to now, and her wife was Dot Creevy.
Right.
So
That's not.
originally I called Dot the auntie. That's wrong.
Yeah.
So Dickie was the auntie. Edith Creevy and Dot Creevy were the couple, and Dot never made it out.
Okay.
And does he recognise the handwriting of the note that she's just written?
Mhm.
Does it match the letter we
Oh.
received?
Good
Yeah.
question.
Good call.
I'll, if I need to do a focus, I'll do a focus.
Go on then, quickly do a focus.
Cool. I'm going to put a drive into this as well. That is a 6 on my gilded dice.
Ooh!
That's a success.
It definitely is not the same handwriting,
Oh, you
Ah.
jammy bugger.
but that was good. Well done. I like that.
Process of elimination, it's fine.
I thought it was
One down.
Yes, only 476 to go. That's fine.
We'll get there.
Just wander around asking people to write letters.
Yeah.
And you're
Right,
right, you're
and-
investigators.
Spell anonymous.
Now,
Cool.
you best be off because you're holding my attention too long. My
Yes.
boys need me.
I will just take one of these crowbars with us to facilitate us getting in the tunnel. I will return
Take
it
whatever you
as
need.
soon as we have finished with it.
Okay.
I'm looking around. Any kind of maps of anything? I know we didn't get one from the manager office. Do we see anything in this?
Do you? It's a map. If you want to, there is a map. It's a tunnel that goes straight. It's kind of a jokey one. It says, "Do not deviate from this." If it starts doing this, we've got a problem.
Good. I will take that for reference. Guys, I don't think this is right.
Yeah, make sure you're holding out the right way. Arthur,
yes.
at the bottom otherwise.
Sorry.
Right, I guess we hot foot the length of the tunnel back to the
All
beginning,
the way back.
and keep the 4 o'clock date that Polly made with Dave 1 and Dave 2.
Oh no, I've got to order it.
How is the doctor doing?
So you managed to get all the way back to the opening where you were, and you can hear the noise from up top drifting down, the steam trains and the whistles and everything else that you heard before. And there they are. There's Dave and Dave, keeping guard as best they can.
Dave.
On the way as we're walking, Bert will get a little bit closer to Dr. Gainsborough. Doctor, how are you feeling at the moment? You hearing any more screaming?
No, I don't believe so. No, it all seems fine.
Just gets the music box out and just holds it closer to him.
It slows down the music, and as it comes back, tinky plonky, plinky plonky.
Okay. Never mind, Doctor. Thank you.
As you were.
I think.
But he is trying to think of ways that he might be able to actually save the Doctor. There are things that he might be able to do, but not here, I think.
Don't worry about it. I'm sure it's something we can.
Without an extremely sharp bassetti and some plastic.
Well, you got a crowbar. that might take a while.
Yeah.
I'll hold my chisel here, just give a good old whack.
I'm sure there's rituals that we can perform or something. I'll try something when we get back. I need all my kit.
Okay, what do you want to do? Dave and
well,
Dave are standing there.
I'd calm the Daves down at Polly's appearance. So
It's not 4 p.m. yet, lads.
yeah, we're here on other business now. We have a letter, and I show them the letter.
Well, I won't turn down Miss Edith, but that just to warn you all that tunnel gives everyone the chills. Are you sure you want to go down there? It's best for us if it just stays shut.
We have to go down there, Dave. We need to find out what happened to these people. We owe them that. And with that, I'll hand out the crowbar. I'll hold it forwards. They're two big lads. They can do the hard labour.
He hands up. Yeah, Dave. Dave 1 steps back. I'll supervise. he's got the letter. Dave 2 is like crank, taking the boards off. Cool. Yep. I mean, it's less than a minute. He's taking the boards off.
You don't mind if I lead the way, do you, folks?
Do you want you got a torch, Arthur, or do you want the app?
I've got a torch here because he connects it to like a bag on his back.
Yeah, lead on.
Too kind. And I just kind of duck under and start walking somewhat carefully.
The biggest thing to notice is that there is no electricity in this tunnel. So within a few feet, it is pitch black, scary as hell. The sound echoes. All you see is, if you're using your torch, you got the flashlight, is the torch from your flashlight and 2 headlamps, unless you all have other means of light. and you see Dave 1. What we have to do, everybody, is we're going to replace the boards.
Nope, absolutely not.
Just for everybody's safety. But when you come back, if you come back, just knock and we'll let you back out. And with that, it's to start. Boom, boom, boom.
Dave, if those boards don't get taken off, I'm going to find you and haunt you in your sleep.
I think if you come back, Bert, that'd be great. But there's going to be stuff down there that's going to haunt you in your sleep, I think.
Oh, I have nothing to haunt me. Don't worry about that.
As Dave 1 or 2 says that, I will take advantage of the fact that it's dark and quiet, and I would like to sneak, please.
Okay.
I got a partial success on my gilded dice.
Okay.
So I will take that because it means I get a drive back.
Are you going to kind of get in front of Arthur, or are you going to just hang to one side and stay in the shadows?
I'll hang to one side, creep along the wall. But I'll let Arthur take lady. He expressly asked for that, so I'll let him.
Are you keeping your torch helmet, Josiah?
Yes. It's more about being quiet than invisible at this point.
Just double checking.
Looks at you.
That's why it was a partial success. That's why it was a partial success, so not a full success. I still had the light on.
Shadows. So yeah, I guess we start walking down slowly. I'm not walking very fast because I can't see my feet in front of me pretty much. So yeah, I'm just taking one short step at a time.
Yeah.
Kind of feel out for the wall as I go, so I've got some way of guiding.
As you're feeling the wall, it's completely smooth. This was all finished, tiled. This was going to be a lovely place. So all of this bit is fine. It's just the power is just not on.
And there's no kind of like sign of cable in here where it would have been on at some point. They just wire out.
No, the cables are there. So the same kind of. So this is not the same like cable and bulbs from the other tunnel because that's still in construction. This would have been
like
on
embedded bulbs in the tunnel walls, right? Okay.
Yeah. This is as finished as it could be, especially this bit. So all of this is pretty much finished.
I'd say keep an eye out for some kind of switch. I'm sure it's not that simple.
It's probably unplugged from the electricity at the source.
Wouldn't be very good business to leave it plugged in.
I mean, should have probably plugged it in before I moved down here. But hey, we're boarded in now. Let's keep going.
So you're going to travel down. This is a parallel line to the previous line.
Got the map.
You can do a survey roll and you can kind of mentally map it out if you wanted to.
I mean, if it's a straight line.
Or if you've got it, well, you're in darkness. So unless someone gives you a torch, then you could scribble it on a piece of paper or put it in your notebook. So about half a mile, you come to the red line camp. So like the other one, you do a kind of a quick investigation. You can see some of the tents are still there. Some of the tents have been like partially flattened by the ceiling has collapsed. Big pieces of rubble like boulders, bricks have just collapsed the whole thing. And so half the camp is gone. Half the camp has been buried. So you only get the front half of the camp. But it's been obviously deserted for months. There's dust, there's dirt everywhere. So
what is at the camp that we can see?
You still see. So as you're kind of all searching around, it's in the same setup as the camp you were just in the Green Line. But it must have been in a hurry because there's still big pieces of equipment have just been left there. So stuff has been, removed, but the tents are still standing. Equipment is still there. This this all had a ticket price. This cost the business. And rather than go back and take those few things out, they've boarded up the tunnel, closed it off, and started a new line.
Can we see if the site manager's tent is still up?
Yep. So you can see that some of the tents which are available. You can see it says Ox Manager. There's one marked Geo Tent.
Oh, okay. Which I
should we
assume
head-
is really.
Should we head to the auxiliary manager's tent first, because that's probably Edith's old tent, isn't it?
Mm.
Because she's the auxiliary site manager.
Bert's going to look around at the equipment while we're walking and see if he can find a torch that operates.
Okay. What are are you after a lantern? Are you after a flashlight, a helmet light?
Anything. He will take at this point anything.
Okay. I'll leave it to you, but yes, you find something on the floor.
Cool.
Arthur's going to stay outside the tent. He's going to keep an eye out on what he can see, which is still very little, but hopefully pay attention to sounds, really.
So you mentioned the auxiliary manager's tent. Who's going in?
Yeah.
I'll go in.
Yep. Yeah, Polly, Josiah, yeah?
Yeah.
Everyone else is staying outside?
I think Bert will go in as well, and he's got his music box in one hand and his newfound hand torch in the other.
Okay. You kind of use it as a detector as it's playing its plinky plonky music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
so you
creepy
three enter the tent.
music.
Plinky plonky music. This is also partially collapsed, not by big boulders, but just by some. And you see, by torchlight, you can see that there are several personal items. I mentioned things like picture frames, photos, and you see that there are several photos of Dot and the woman you now know as Edith, and these are from earlier times in their lives together. While digging around, you also find a wooden box, and it's been nailed shut. And there's a note that has also been nailed to the top.
So the personal items, like the photos and stuff like that of Edith and Dot, we presume it's Dot. We don't know what Dot looks like, do we?
No.
So should we take these, Polly? Do you reckon?
I reckon so. I mean,
Yeah.
it's seems like the nice thing to do.
It does. It does. There's no sign of Dot anywhere, like body-wise, in this area, is there?
Not that you found.
Okay.
Actually, that's the point. When we've been outside, has there been any kind of sign of casualties or fatalities?
No.
Like even marks of blood or anything?
No.
Cool.
Adam's outside.
I'll grab up the pictures and photo frames so we can take them back to Edith when we return.
Okay.
Polly, what do you make of this? This is now shut. I'll rip the note off the top.
Okay. So this is a big crate.
Okay. Oh, it's a
let's
crate.
see-
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get the right note up on the screen. Yeah. There you go.
Ooh.
So if you want to read that, Polly, Josiah gave it to you.
Manager Creevy, at your request, here are the items from the strange corpse discovered after the most recent blast. The cavern we revealed doesn't seem to be natural in formation, but I don't see how it could be man-made either. Further drilling with the TBM should reveal more. I only glanced at the material within, but I strongly recommend keeping it to yourself for now. I don't want the crew to be as unsettled as I am. Sincerely, Maggie.
Right. Okay. So Maggie's a new name.
Oh. And they found a corpse. So are we thinking that maybe Edith's maybe a bit more ahead of things than first appeared?
Did she see this? Because if the note was untouched and the crate was still nailed shut, did she see it? Where was Edith when the collapse happened? We don't know that bit, did we? We didn't ask her about that.
No.
Should we open the crate, Polly? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think we should open the crate. We've got a crowbar. That's handy.
You've got it for. It's like Resident Evil. You've only got so many inventory slots.
Yeah.
The crowbar takes up 2, so you might as well use it.
Yeah, I will supply the muscle this time, and I will lever off the lid of this crate.
Okay, so inside the crate, it reveals 2 items. So the first item is what appears to be a very old and damaged diary.
Okay. And what was the other item? And then I'll ask him to read it.
Yep. The second item is what appears to be a bottom third of an ancient parchment that's basically been torn in 2.
Ancient sounds right up Bert's alley.
Yeah.
He is grinning behind you.
So I will
Jesus.
hand that over. Bert, look, this has been broken, destroyed, ripped up. So I know that'll upset you, but once we've got past the grief, do you reckon you can have a read of this?
Yes, can you? He'll put the music box away because he won't want to put it down, and then he'll take the parchment.
Okay. And I'll take a look at the damaged diary.
What languages can you both speak and read?
No idea.
So what Bert is going to pull out is an arcane text book, which is part of his occultist gear that he can bring. So that's my second item. And it has different languages in it, and it's basically a language book of the arcane. So it has all different sorts of languages in it. If he looks through it, as it's very old.
Okay. And Josiah?
I assume I can speak common because there isn't a section on the character sheet for languages. So I'm assuming it's all just we speak New Fair, whatever the language is, and that's it.
That's fine. Okay, so Josiah first. As you flick through the diary, you do not recognize this language.
Okay.
It is not readable by you. Bert, you can, with the help of the arcane text, you can read this. This is written in ancient Faerun. It is a magic text. And you determine that it's not all there, but this is some kind of a teleportation ritual. And without the rest of the page, the ritual cannot be performed.
Ross is just making notes, and then I will respond to that.
And while you're doing that, I will check to see if I've got another slide. There we go. So that is the last page in the diary.
Okay, so that was written. Was that in the same language as the scroll?
Yes.
Okay.
So Bert can read it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, let me just. He's got one. Just I hope the torch. He's got one hand in the textbook, trying to follow it while he looks for the letter.
I will hold the torch.
I cannot fight against the incessant howls of the bloodmouth and its demands for living sacrifices. Soon it will overcome me completely. I must end myself now, or become the food it so feverishly craves. There is another way, and once I was a brave enough man to do it, but no more. Old age and fear have broken my resolve to enter its void. Perhaps one day another will read this, one who is fearless enough to use my amulet and destroy this chaos forever. If not, at least I die knowing that my efforts have removed the bloodmouth from the outer world. I can only hope that these walls can hold it.
Nice.
I'd like to do either a focus or a sense, probably a focus check's more appropriate, to try and see what I know about bloodmouths, if I've heard of that or read it. In any way.
I can't give you any drive because I'm out of intuition.
I will give you a drive on that one.
Cool. I'll also use one of my own drive as well then. And I've got a gilded dice in that as well. Oh, I'm loving my gilded dice. I got a 6 on my gilded dice and a 6 on my standard dice. So that's a critical success.
Critical success.
Or is it? Because it's 666. So, anyway. What
only
you
two
know
successes.
about the term bloodmouth is that it is believed to be basically a gateway to hell. But these things are also believed not just a gateway, a portal, it works both ways, that they are somehow sentient.
This is not good. This is very bad news. This, and he'll hold up the torn parchment. This is part of some sort of ritual, some magic, and the diary talks of a bloodmouth. It's like a gateway to hell. It goes obviously both ways. This is not good news.
You also know that, again, based on information, ancient information, that it needs sacrifices to kind of charge up to become permanent. And it needs 12 souls.
Ooh.
2 more.
Yes.
So it mentioned in the diary living sacrifices. So does that mean that there's a possibility that these people are still alive and being held somewhere?
Well, it all depends. If it doesn't have to be done at the same time, they could be done individually, and it's just it accumulates.
Yeah. So do you know if all 12 have to be done in one go, or is it like a steady feed the meter situation?
Well, I've got a theory about this. So the little girl what you spoke to, Rose, she was talking about a song, right, that she was singing and the voice sang it back. Now that song, I think it's from the colonies, but I know we've got something similar on this side. But it's a kiddies game, isn't it, where like they all duck under each other and they sit down, and when the song finishes they all pop back up. So if that's what's happening in that makes me think that maybe it needs that living element for them to maybe, I don't know, re-emerge as part of this new entity. I might be way off base as I am quite tired.
Would I know that, or be able to piece it together?
It's very, very close.
What I'm getting at is if they're still alive, we're kind of on the clock, aren't we?
I reckon we're on a clock anyway if it needs
Yes.
12.
I mean, dead or alive, there's the gateway to hell. I would suggest that there's some sort of clock ticking somewhere.
I reckon maybe, I mean, I know, but you've been keeping a close eye on Dr. G, but maybe we keep an even closer eye on Dr. G and maybe Chatwell as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes.
Should we check out the other tent?
Yeah.
The Geo tent, and then maybe make our way back to Edith.
Might be a tent for the.
Because I mean,
other
there
two.
is always a way to stop it getting 12, and that's to shut the tunnel down and get everybody out.
But I think we're going to come up against brick shithouse on that, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think we might need to go further in.
I'm going to say for time, do you want the other two to
Yeah.
check out the other tent
That's a
while
good idea.
you three were in here?
Yeah.
So we'll cut to Arthur and Doctor. You're going to head towards the geologist's tent.
Very well. As we walk in, what's inside the tent?
Okay, so this one has Geo on the side of the tent. And it's kind of the closest thing. So this cave-in, the tent is half under it. So as you open the door, you can see the tent is going under. You're the closest to this back wall. And you can hear the rumble of the dirt every now and then. It topples down on top of the tent or topples down to the floor outside. The debris in this place is pretty much crushed. So it makes it really impossible to do a thorough search through. But as you do, Arthur, because you got your flashlight, yeah?
Yeah, I was also going to say with the I'd be using my excavation tools as well, which would aid in the search with Crumble.
And I've got a hard hat and light as well.
So with your hard hat, like you work as a pair to go through to just get back as you can. You know, it's like a when you're in a loft space, the ceiling height gets down, so you have to start to crawl under. You try to go as deep as you can. You push out some rocks out the way, and you find a dead body. The body is laying there. It's been several months, so it has started to decompose. But you can see that both legs are pinned under this thing that has just crushed them.
Doctor, there's a body in here. I was kind of shifting the box back to you to kind of not get in the way. The legs are pinned. It's been here for quite a while, and I don't think I can make out who it could have ever been, really.
You can see that it is the body is female.
It's female.
This could be Edith's partner, maybe, possibly, or it could be another poor soul. Either way, we should possibly at least bring them back so they can be buried properly.
Problem is that they're quite stuck. The legs are pinned, so we would either have to somehow lift or remove this rock or touch the limb, which I believe is probably more your forte.
It does say that I have medical equipment in my gear.
Got a hacksaw back there.
But they can bring like a little bone saw.
Yeah.
Should I tag you in? If you just help me pull back a bit, like you can probably fit through the gap.
Yeah, sure, certainly. And I'm just gonna literally bone saw.
So as you get more into the gap, you got the hard hat and the light as well. As you start to crawl in, you dig out your bone saw. Where are you going to cut? Like the belly at the waist? Are you going to cut the legs?
As close to the stone as possible. So
Okay,
the leg.
You shuffle yourself so you're sideways to the body, and you go for like the upper thigh as close to the groin as you can get, really, because it's the legs are pinned, the knees are crushed. So you start to cut through. As you start to cut through the light of your torch, you see something shimmer
Christ.
near the neck of the dead body.
I'm gonna relay that to Arthur as well.
What does it? What do you mean shimmer? What does it look like? What?
Well, it actually looks like some kind of amulet on the necklace.
Perfect. So yeah, so it looks like an amulet.
Oh, that doesn't sound important at all. Leave it there.
Don't need it. Right in the leg. Yeah.
We're not brave brothers.
Well, that might identify who this body is. We should get hold of that and at least don't lose it as we bring the body out. Also, when ready, just say Paul, and I'll yank the body back.
So I'm just gonna carry on.
You successfully cut through one leg. You start sawing through the second leg.
Yep. And I'm just gonna work my way through it until Arthur's able to pull the body away.
Okay. So you pull the body away. The amulet is coming with the body into more space, so you can now stand up and.
Oh yes, I see it. Yeah, just kind of takes it off the body's neck. Yeah.
So,
Does it look like
as you touch the amulet, two things happen. You touch the amulet, and some of the rock becomes disturbed. You see the rubble start to come down into the tent area, much closer to Doc Crawford, as you can see. And Arthur, you see a puddle start to appear at the base of the rock. Dr. Crawford, this thing appears straight in front of you, and you start to see the puddle grow and starts to grow into a small person, head, shoulders, arms, but incredibly long arms. 5 foot long arms appear in front of you, and as it changes in front of you, Dr. Crawford, it turns to face you, and it's like the liquid. I'm thinking Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Odo. It changes from a liquid to, and it is an exact replicant of Arthur. Arthur, you see this. So, Arthur, two things happen. As Dr. Crawford sees this, he immediately screams and grabs his head. Dr. Crawford, you take 1 brain mark. And Arthur, after seeing your mirror image in liquid form, you will also take 1 brain mark. And we'll find out what happens in the next session.
Doctor!
Cool. For
I was
third and
expecting
final part.
a replicant Dr. Crawford, because he'd obviously been cloned by wherever he dipped his hand in. But no,
Cool.
it's taken Arthur instead.
It's taken Arthur instead. That's what made him scream.
Arthur is
It's
holding
like
Hamlet.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, isn't it? The end
Yeah.
scene where the woman finds Donald Sutherland and then
Yes.
he screams at her. That's a horrific scene. That is.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was done well.
My musings are over.
Right. We're going to leave it there, folks. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave in the comments below, and we'll see you all again in the next session. Ciao for now. Bye.